family? CTR Media Network. Yeah. Best in the biz. Yeah. Join the team. CTR is who we are, the media network, that's the best by far. Whether you listen at your home, at your job, in your car, come get the information that's needed above par. Never lasting, motivational podcasting, giving you the answers to the questions that you asking. Serious talks and topics, how to come up and profit, how to better yourself, your health is here. We got it, reaching 350 million, they tuning in. We in 50 different countries, we all can. And like-minded, find your purpose and your assignment. Come get your fix, your feel, your mental alignment. Get active and speak to the masses. Build your influence all levels and all classes. Now you know you can monetize and grow.
2024 Ignite Change Empowerment Virtual Conference. Join us for 3 days on February 23rd-25th, 2024 from 6 p.m. 9 p.m. EST by CTR Media Network. Are you ready to unlock your potential and make a meaningful impact? This is an opportunity to connect with a diverse audience and contribute to breaking down barriers that hinder progress. Support the cause, sponsorship and collaboration opportunities. While the speaker opportunity is free, we are offering limited opportunities for sponsorship, vendor slots, advertisement spots, and welcome donations to support the production of this transformative event. If you represent a media company, business, podcaster, or any organization interested in collaboration, please reach out to info@ctrmedianetwork.com or visit our website at www.
Digress when we come home, like we're becoming robots. I don't want to be that.
Right.
I want to be able to connect. I want to be able to feel emotion. I want to be able to feel love. I want to be able to have that and know that it exists, that, and so I can connect to the next man because it's not just about me all the time.
Nope.
I'm a life coach. What if I wasn't? I was just empathetic. I didn't have any compassion. Like
Right.
I probably wouldn't even do this, being a life coach, but I know that I have a care in this world and that I care and I want to reach so many other people with my story and with stories like yours.
Right.
So I'm just like, that really gets me, so because I'm like, no, we need time to digress. What do you do to relax? So what did you do to relax when you came home from being a nurse?
What I do now?
Like, yeah, what do you do now? You're mommy now, so you're
I'm my mom now, but
you're mom now.
I'm still a nurse. I just work from home and I'm on the phone all day. So like I said, God has a way of humbling you and sitting you down because now I actually have to talk and listen to people all day and listen to their problems. So that's all I do all day is triage. So they call me and say, this is what's wrong. What do I do? And I give advice all day. So my job is a constant, compassionate job because I have to literally talk to people all day about whatever it is they're going through, which could be anything because people call for non-medical reasons as well. So I would just talk to them and kind of give them advice on, where they need to go for care, if they need to go anywhere for care, words of encouragement, whatever the call pertains to be honest, that's what I do. So I did take a step away from the bedside because it was a lot for me to handle. And I just felt like I was in a place where I didn't have anything to give my patients at that time because I was so broken down. So instead of leaving the profession, I just found another way to do it, just not directly at the patient bedside.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But to relax, I don't even think I have a way of relaxing, really. This is my relaxing right here, talking to another adult.
Right. Okay, great. I understand. I'm like, I understand that because it's nothing like talking on the phone to somebody and just laughing all the time, right? So I definitely understand that. you know, that's just a wild experience to me. So I'm gonna ask you. I think you already said it, and just
Mhm.
say it again. I guess for everyone who's out there, is like, what did you learn from this situation, and what advice can you give other nurses who have went through this or they're experiencing it and they don't know how to react?
Yeah, sure. So first, what I learned from the whole experience, I've learned a lot of things. I've learned that I'm not in control, that God's in control. Because anyone who knows me, I'm a very type A personality. Everything's organized. I have a calendar. Everything's planned out. That's how my life's going to go. If it's written on the
Right.
calendar, it's going to happen. And whenever this happened, it was hands up, no control. Like I couldn't control anything. I couldn't control getting pregnant. I couldn't control going in labor. I couldn't save my children. I couldn't save my family from heartache. So I just learned that I'm not in control. And that was probably my number one lesson. The second lesson I probably would say I learned is anything can happen to anybody. And they always say, you could always be that person. Or what if the roles were switched? And I actually lived that. So I would just say, watch who you speak about, like powers, in the tongue. So watch who you speak about, watch whose life you talk about. Watch when you see somebody going through something or showing their behind on social media, watch what you say about them. Cause you don't know what they're going through. You don't know what's coming for them. You don't know what's coming for you. So I would just say, be compassionate, be caring, be mindful of what you say, what you do, how you move, because you never know when it's your time to be humble. So, and then I would say the last thing I learned would be communication, and definitely communication with my husband, because I think this was probably the most strengthening thing we've ever gone through. We were only
Oh
married for
wow.
3 years and lost 2 babies. So, for
Oh
some
wow.
marriages that might break it. But
Right.
for us, it actually strengthened our marriage. We actually went through something drastic together. So we had to be a solid unit, not just for each other, but because we have a daughter, she's 10, and I have a stepdaughter, and we had to be solid for her. Like she can't see us crumble. So just, I would just say strengthen my marriage. And then for nurses, I would say, especially right now with the pandemic and the burnout, and I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse for 10 years. Sometimes you just get tired. Like you get tired of taking care of people and nobody taking care of you. You get tired of working for these companies and they don't want to pay you. They want to pay the people coming in, new nurses, more than what you make, and you've been there for 30, 40 years. So I would just say, even though you're burned out, just, take a step back every now and then and just remember that this patient who's here, this might be the worst day of their life. And you might be the only saving grace. And most of the time when you take care of a patient, they remember you forever. So it's like, it's like your first interview for a job. So you just want to make sure, that even if you are burnt out, when you walk into the room, that patient had nothing to do with that. So just to kind of, remember why you got into the profession, do what you need to do. And if you can't handle it, do what I did and find a different way to do it without having to be on Front Street if patient bedside care is not your thing.
Right. Yeah, that's amazing. I'm glad that you're able to give them advice. Maybe in the future you may be a nurse advocate, fighting for the nurses, or
Yeah.
actually, listening to them with their burnout to help them with
Yes.
their process the situation, or
Hmm.
even to teach them how to connect with the patients without being overly connected and being able to let go. So, maybe that's something in your future. Maybe that's something that you can help
And
other people with.
cultural difference is a big thing too. No matter
Oh
what race of
God.
a nurse you are, you need to research on all different cultures in whatever field you work in. If you work in labor and delivery, then you need to research cultural differences in that area with their children, and just so you don't offend anybody, because it's very easy to, get into your own head about what your cultures expect, and then going into a room and you have a patient of a different culture who might be doing something different. So I just think being, culturally aware, especially like being an African American nurse, I'm sure I've heard plenty of things. So just making sure you are aware and mindful of what you say to your patients, because you never know who you're going to get.
Right. Now, the good thing is, even though this story was tragic, and of course, nothing can replace those babies,
Right.
but you did have a son, right?
Yes, he's going to
So,
be 3. And he drives me nuts.
yeah, that was a yay moment, right?
Yes.
Tell me about him.
So I lost my twins in February, and 4 months later, I got pregnant with my son on my own. No fertility, no nothing. Just got pregnant on my own. So I had him in March of 2019. I had lost him in February of 2018. So it had only been 11 months since I had the passing of the twins, and I have a new baby now. So I really didn't get to go through like the whole grieving process before I was pregnant again. So if you can imagine, my pregnancy was ridiculously stressful. But I had a baby, and he was a little thing, but he's all over my social medias.
Right.
But yeah, I would say he's the best thing to happen to our family. He brightens up everybody's day. He's intelligent. He's a lot of work, but he's my baby, my blessing, my little rainbow.
Awesome, 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 awesome. I love it. We hate that these things happen, but I think it brings you closer to your child. You know, when something tragic like that happens, like it makes you like definitely closer. Like it
Mm-hmm.
tightens the bond, it makes it more. So I'm so happy that you're able to share into, becoming with the world, becoming a mother. I just want to say congratulations to you and your family with that.
Thank you.
That is amazing. I had some pictures. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to pull them up, but I'm definitely going to share them on my page.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say, I commend you for being so strong. It took somebody like you, Miss Lexi Battle, to come out here and just slay the game when it was telling her testimony. You did it with such grace, and I'm grateful for that. I know it was hard, but you got through it and you learned the lesson, and now you're able to empower other people to do the same thing that you do, or you went through, or if they're going through it. So
Right.
I'm grateful for you. I say stay out there, keep sharing your story, keep giving your testimony and talking about, you know infertility. That's one. Oh my God, let me
Yeah,
give you some. You got
especially
so many.
infertility with Black women, because everybody
Yes.
thinks that Black women are just the most fertile people on earth. Not all of us. Some
No,
of
all
us
of it.
struggling.
Exactly. So one of you could talk about infertility, you could talk
Mhm.
about miscarriages, you can talk about being a burnout nurse, and being for
Yeah.
real, and being and being attached and being detached. So those
Hmm.
are four different categories that you can actually talk about to different people to help them with their process.
Right.
So we need nurses like you. We need people like you doing that thing. You know what? I can't. I just keep thinking about like going to, I want my nurse to be attached. I
Yeah.
want my nurse to be connected. I want to, I want that,
Hmm.
and, that's deep. That's different from me. How do you feel about people who are having their babies at home?
I think you can do whatever you want. I actually have a friend who deals with that. So if anybody wanted to do that, I do know people that do it. But I mean, I don't think there's any issues with that as long as
Yeah,
you have a healthy pregnancy.
right.
If they say your baby's very large, or your baby's head circumference is very big, or say you had a very traumatic labor previously, then I would say the best place to be would be the hospital. But there are ways to kind of emulate that same atmosphere at the hospital. Like, we have midwives that work in the hospitals now. You can get a doula to coach you through your birth. So you can make the best out of your situation. But if you're somebody who always has to have C-sections, I don't think it's a good idea to try to have a vaginal birth at home. Like that, I don't
Right.
think that's safe. So as long as safety is not an issue, I don't see nothing wrong with having your baby at
Right.
home. As long as you have a good team, a caring team, everybody's in good spirits, everybody has positive, vibes, and then good. But you want to definitely be safe.
All right. So you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Lexi Battle, she's giving some of that nurse wisdom. I too, I feel the same way. Everything is different for everybody,
Hmm.
but I know we're going into a different time, so a lot of people are
Yes.
becoming, we're reverting back to being natural.
Right.
So that's a
Which
good
nothing's
thing.
wrong with that. But
Nothing
I
wrong.
like my epidural.
Look,
I
let me
will birth with you. I will huff and puff with you. You can go to the pain, but me, I'm gonna get mine. But I'm an
look.
advocate for both. If you want to be
Whew,
natural, I'm there for you. You want to go get me medicated, I'm there too.
I'll never
It's
forget.
rough either way.
What? I will never forget being at the hospital and they was like, we're gonna give her some pitocin. I said, call the doctor,
Epidural, please.
call the doctor. you know, y'all
Right.
about to give me
Yep.
some pitocin, so you're gonna speed up. Oh, whoop, whoop.
Yep. If you want to sing hymns and pray and push, we could do that. But if you like your epidural and you want to watch Netflix, we could do that too.
That, that is definitely. You know what? That'll be a great Netflix and chill.
Right.
Well, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you. Tell your family and your child, like, oh my God, tell them they're amazing, because their story is going to be broadcast all over the world. Everybody's gonna know their name and everybody's gonna know their story. So get ready, Lexi. Get ready.
And I just wanted to say one thing, that, for anybody who did see my story and anybody who can relate or anybody who can connect, I just wanted them to know that, they're not by themselves. They're not alone. You're not the only person that ever gone through it. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to cry. It's okay to break down. And if you feel like there's nobody else that understands, that I understand. I've had tons of inboxes of women who have actually reached out, people who have never even told their story before, people who feel like they are not being heard by their families. But if I could be that one person, who can be an ally for you, then I'm here. And, if I could be that one person who can keep somebody from, taking their own life, thinking they can't make it, that I'm living proof that you can survive it. It's not something that you're going to get over ever. I mean, it's going to always be something that a part of your life. It's always going to be a drastic part of your life, but it is something you can survive.
Is there a social media handle that you have that they can
Um,
connect with you with?
yes, I'm at Miss Battle 730 on Instagram. I'm Lexi Battle on Facebook, and I'm Lexi Battle on TikTok. So you
So
should
Miss
be able to
Battle
easily
730,
find me. Miss Battle 730. Yep.
and that's Instagram.
And on
See if I
Instagram,
can
yeah, but
find that.
everywhere else I'm just my name.
So that's Miss Battle 730 on Instagram. That's where you can get in contact with Lexi. She gave all her story and she gave her testimony. I thank you for sharing your story with us. Keep doing your thing, and just keep being amazing.
Well, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Well, let's see here. So you heard it here first, guys. This was our first episode of Transformative.
Thought for Thursday. That's what we're doing today. Can you tell what kind of day I've had? Hello, everybody, and welcome to Thought for Thursday. I started Instagram just a few minutes ago and said, Happy Triumphant Tuesday. Yeah, it's been that kind of day. Not necessarily week, but definitely that kind of day. Anyway, happy to be at Thursday. Happy to have you here with me today. It has been a lot. This week has really been thought-provoking for me, as a riser, thinking about what it is that we're planning to do right now that we have gotten to our prime, or as we are approaching our prime. Risers are at a special place. We're either approaching perhaps retirement and starting something new, or we are at the point where we are retiring, all right? Starting something new, or just starting retiring and doing your own thing, whatever your own thing may look like, or you're already there. You're retired. You've been doing some things and you're trying to figure out exactly where you want to go from now, or where you want to go to now. And it's interesting. I came across some statistics earlier this week, and I basically told you about some of them in my teaser. And they talked about a couple of things. It said that 70%, and I've gotten this information from an organization, AAUW, and it says 70% of overall retirement income is what we make. That is what women make. 70% of what men make in their retirement income. And it says, at the same time, we're living a little longer than men. So what are we doing about that? How are we preparing for perhaps not having the income that we may totally need for retirement? How are we preparing ourselves to continue once our mainstream of income has ended, if we're not doing something else? If we are perhaps traveling for a while or doing something other than working for a while, how are we going to take care of making sure that we are still living the kind of lifestyle that we desire to have and our needs are being met? That's something to think about as someone in their prime years. And then the other question I asked is, wow, so we're at our prime What now? We've been talking about it. I've also been in a conference this week that's talking about reinventing after 40 and transforming after 40. And that was right up my aisle as the reinvention strategist. And I learned so much, and I really got a pretty good glimpse into what we really should be focused on. And of course, again, those pain points that we hit at these prime years and how it is that we can deal with them and get past them. So let's deal with the first thing. I talked about those statistics with the money. We'll talk about that in just a second as you approach retirement. If you are there now, of course, there are various things that you can do if you're finding yourself at a point where you don't quite have that income that you desire to have. Perhaps something that you can find that will give you some type of income, part-time, something that you enjoy doing, really to kind of supplement what you already have coming in. Various things that you can do. Look at different places that you can live where it may be a little more economical than where you are now. A number of different things. Definitely connect with others who are like-minded, who are like you, who are perhaps trying to kind of navigate this field also, navigating finances and navigating where they are. Make sure that you connect with people who are going to be able to help you in that arena. I highly recommend a financial advisor who's going to be able to help you to navigate these years, not just now, perhaps as you're approaching them, as you're in them, and of course, in the future. So the other question is, I'm in prime now. What now? Well, we talk about that all the time here, don't we? Many of us decide that we're going to reinvent and start another career altogether, or we're going to reinvent and make the career that we're currently in more aligned with something that's going to be more fulfilling and something that's going to enable us to thrive. So there's several different things that you can do in order to live that thriving life, right? Of course, we talk about making sure that you understand your purpose and tapping into that and looking for different things that you can do in that arena that's really going to coincide with what you desire in your heart of hearts to really carry through, perhaps for the first time in life. Don't deny yourself the opportunity to go for those things that perhaps you've been putting on the back burner. All things that we talk about. Yeah, you're in your prime now. So go ahead and do some of those things that maybe you haven't done. And depending on your finances, definitely take the opportunity, for example, to explore the world. Go out and travel more. Perhaps you want to do something like picking up a hobby. Perhaps you wanted to golf forever and you haven't had the time up until now. Take some lessons. Of course, it's never too late to do that. Start gardening, something else that will definitely occupy your time and really give you that fulfilled sense when you sit back and look at the beauty of the things that you have created. What are some other things that you can do? Of course, we talk about volunteering. Go out there and get involved where people need some support. What else? Perhaps you finally have that opportunity to get in shape. Go and start an exercise regimen that's really going to put you in a better space physically. Do a home improvement project. Definitely spend time alone in reflection and doing a lot more reading. Join clubs. The list can go on and on and on. Work on your investments. Dedicate some time to taking a class, perhaps in something that you desire to really perfect or learn, and you haven't done that yet. Get into things like scrapbooking or quilting. Work on your family tree. The list goes on and on and on. You're in your prime. The bottom line is you can do what you want to do. All right? So don't limit yourself by thinking there are barriers that are going to prevent you from doing that. These are some of your best years. Last night, I heard that it is the second phase. It's the second mountain. You've already climbed one. It's time to go ahead and put yourself in position to climb that next one that's going to look a lot different from that first one you were on, where you were really preoccupied with ensuring that you kind of took care of everybody else, probably. You made sure that you took care of the basic needs and all of the things that were required to help you with your family. Now you're on that second leg of the trip, right? And you can do it differently. So think outside of the box as to exactly how you may want to do that. You don't have any restrictions on how that looks. Go out and pursue it. Pave a new path if need be. Do whatever you need to do to make sure that things are looking the way that you want them to look. So now let me get back to that whole financial piece. So I gave you those statistics and told you about what retirement years could look like. I want to tell you some of the things that you need to do, women, my risers, as you approach those years, as you get ready to look and to have to sustain yourself off of what you have saved, what you have invested, and in what you now get as a part of being in your prime years. So what are some of the things that I am talking about? I need you to understand the key to stability. The key to achieving that financial stability is to make your money last, of course. So that's what you want to focus on as you are approaching those prime years. Life expectancy is continuing to rise. Like I said, we're living our best years, and we have many more in front of us. Make sure that you can afford to stay in retirement as you live into your 80s and your 90s and beyond. If you don't desire to go out and seek additional income, make sure that where you are, you can sustain yourself. What else are we talking about? Hold on one second here. I'm moving a little faster than my banners are going up. I didn't want that to be a ticker, so hold on. Here we go. I'm not sure what's going on. Just wait a minute. I'm not sure why it's going up as a ticker, but make a list of your retirement goals, okay? It's kind of going by you slowly here. Make a list of those goals. Make sure that you understand what do you plan to achieve once you're done working. Sit down and think about that. If you haven't, it is definitely time for you to think about it. What are some of the most important aspects of retirement for you? What are the things that you just don't want to miss once you perhaps move from where you are now and approach that next half? What are a list of retirement goals? That's what I already said. And make sure you figure out how to stay financially stable as you work on achieving those goals. Number 3, make a list of your retirement essentials. That, above all else, will help you to determine what type of finances you need, what you will need in order to sustain yourself. Essentials are like basic housing and food and medications, other necessary costs. They're all tied to your financial stability. How much will your home cost during retirement if it's not paid off already? How will you be preparing meals? How is it that you will be getting the money to purchase your meals? What about utilities? All things that you think about as you approach those retirement years. Something else, combine your lists, all right, and then start calculating. So you're getting all of your lists together. Make sure you start to calculate so that you get an accurate description, an accurate assessment of what it is that you need. Include all of the costs for the list of essentials and the goals that you came up with, and all of that, and make a budget so that you can determine and that you can work already on staying within that budget. Again, this is for those approaching perhaps leaving that first career, even if you're talking about a second one, but definitely for those who aren't talking about perhaps going on to a second income, how it is that you're going to prepare to live those years out when you don't have the same income that you had before, and definitely when you don't. When you have to be concerned with making sure that you have enough to sustain things. All right. So that was number 4. I've got just a couple more here. The 5th one, consider the growth of your investments in the future. You have investments right now. Consider that in the future. You know, for some, the future may be coming real quick. For some, it may be a few years out. How much money do you expect to have once you retire? Hopefully, you have a number in mind. How much can you expect these funds, all right, from the growth of your investments? How much do you expect these funds to grow during the retirement? You know, ideally, you want to live on your interest, correct? And not on your principal. So, what income streams are going to contribute to your daily life once you're no longer at work? So, yeah, take those investments into consideration, how they're going to grow, and figure out what all is out there, or make sure you understand or have things in place that are going to supplement where you currently are. And the last thing I'm going to say tonight is think about Medicare and Social Security. Do you want to really depend on those sources? Are you going to be able to survive on those benefits? You know, things don't look real promising in that arena. Depending upon what age you are, it may look a little more promising than for some than others. How much are they really going to contribute to your lifestyle? All right. So all of these things are critical. Planning your retirement age is a crucial step also. When are you going to do that transfer? When are you going to go ahead and perhaps switch over to a new career, or switch into that stage where you're doing some other things that you've been dreaming of doing and you've been working so hard for finally approaching? You know, being in these years are beautiful years to be in. Being in an alternative way of making our funds is a little challenging at times if you do not plan for things appropriately. Retirement, you know, it can be one of the best phases of your life ever, but planning is important. Planning has to be done appropriately. So make sure the financial things are in place as you approach retirement. If you're right there, then go ahead and start to put some plans into motion to ensure that the funds are going to be running in the way that you want them to really soon. What are you going to do? You're at your prime years. That was one of the other questions. You're going to live them out. You're going to reinvent if that's what you want to do. You're going to go into a second income if that's what you want. If you want to start your business, if you want a new career. That's the beauty of these years. You have choices. You don't have to stick with one thing or another. You really can go after what your heart truly desires. Planning the financial piece of it is key and very important so that you can live those years, thriving, of course, in purpose, on purpose, going forth and making that impression in the world that I always talk about you need to make because of your uniqueness and because of who you are and what you were designed to do and who you are designed to be. All right? So that's it. Whoa, you're at your retirement age, or whoa, it's prime years. Now what? Go out and live them. Go out and live them to the best of your ability. Go out and be audaciously, confidently who you are, knowing that you have meaning, you have purpose, you have value. Go out and impress the world with who you are by making an impression on something and making it better. All right? That's it. You guys go and have an awesome weekend. All right. We're almost there. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, guys. Have a good one. Hey, Dr. Carolyn, I'm sorry I didn't want to end. I just saw your comment. I'm glad you love this. I'm so glad you got some value out of this. Guys, continue to follow me. I'll have more things coming as well. We got to stick together, we risers, right? We got to help one another. All right. Have a great one.
I am representing Settle Sharp with Dr. Liddy and Lonnie Osborne, who can't be here. I'm from Tallahassee, Florida, and I'm visiting here now, and it's just such an honor to be here with you all and share the story of Settle Sharp, which has been an incredible journey. I have a law degree. I don't practice law. I teach at Florida State University. Been doing that for 13 years. Love it. Students would come after class, say, hey, I have a problem with a lease. How do I get out of this? I had to look up the statutes. Little known fact, you can get out of a lease in Florida pretty easy. And I showed them how to do it. They thanked me. I realized later through my own personal experiences dealing with insurance companies, car rental companies, moving companies, they wanted to rip me off for thousands of dollars. And I didn't let them. I used my legal knowledge. I ended up not having to pay or getting money back. So then I told myself, okay, how do I do this and help other people, right? And so it's just not just me and my students. So I started Settle Shark with that mission in mind, to reduce the access to justice problem that exists in this country, which is terrible, right? People just can't afford lawyers. They don't know how to access the legal system. It's a system that, in my opinion, in many ways is designed to basically, not help people and keep people in the dark. Settle Shark is here to help people for a one-time fee of $47, no subscription, no hidden fees. We will sell you a demand letter, and we sell them in every state. We've sold them in, I think, 6 states so far. We've helped consumers get thousands of dollars back from companies. We have stories where people have gone up against the biggest corporations in the world. Our first success story was a gentleman in New Jersey who's an Uber driver who went to a British Petroleum gas station, pumped gas like he did every week, and it turned out that it was bad gasoline. I didn't even know that was a thing, but you can actually get bad gasoline that will mess up your engine. He had to go get it cleaned. It cost him $504 with, I think, 97 cents. He was a loyal customer. He wrote to them. He said, British Petroleum, please, I only use your company. I have your mobile app. Please refund me the money. They didn't even talk to him. They ignored him for months. He uses our letter. In 2 weeks, he gets a letter from British Petroleum with their letterhead saying, we're opening up a case for you. Send us your documentation. A few months later, they cut him a check for $504.97. And again, our Settle Shark demand letters, which is something a lawyer would typically write for you, right? But you have to hire a lawyer, is what gets it all done. That's how this system works. It's crazy. You have to go through all these steps and hoops just to get something done. And we make it simple for people online. It's called settleshark.com. We've returned thousands of dollars for average consumers. We're online. We are here to help. And we're out there if you want to talk to us and tell us your stories. So thank you very much for allowing us the chance. Thank you so
much. We wasn't able to save no money till we moved here. And he got a job here. Okay. That's when we began to save and put our money together. I was working too, and guess how much I was making a week? First time they paid me $1 a week. $1 a week. I wasn't that little teenager at that time. Okay, they went up, paid me $1.25, and eventually they paid me $1.50, and that was it for a whole week. That's right. I know a lot of people don't believe that, but that is the fact.
Listen, if anybody's interested in getting into podcasting, grab this book. Go on Amazon, grab this book. It goes with me almost everywhere. This book has like a workbook, It has places you can fill it in. It tells you how to monetize your podcast. It tells you how to set it up. It tells you about sponsorships. It even, listen, go on Amazon and get this book. And this is the Bible for podcasters. Listen, it was ranked #1 in podcasting books. Look right here. Best new podcasting book by Book Authority. Right there. Boom. And a little secret. Y'all, when you grab this book, I think it's page 43. There is a code on there. Listen, you can get access to her class, her course. Get her course. It's worth hundreds of dollars. But this book is less than $50. Grab this book on Amazon. I'm telling you, I carry it everywhere. She is the best. Grab this book on Amazon.
Hello, y'all. I'm Jimmy Cameron, better known as Jimmy of Jimmy and Bella, the brother and sister duo, old school. I'm here today to introduce you to a living wonder. And I'm proud to be here. I live in Los Angeles, but I came all the way across country to celebrate this young lady's birthday, even though I'm a little late. She turned on June 19th, 104 years old. You never know it because she's brighter than all of us together and very, very aware of the world and what's going on in the world. And she's an angel in human form. This is my aunt, Alberta Cameron Overtree Jones. Say hello to them, darling.
Say hello, Grandma. Come on, me. Yeah, you. Hello. Hello.
Greg will talk back to you, but they're there. They're there. And this is George, her grandson.
Yeah, George, over to how everybody doing. I'm her eldest grandson.
Now, hey, Bert, how are you feeling today?
How I feel today?
How you feeling?
I feel good seeing y'all.
Well, I feel good seeing you today. Now, we're going to ask you some questions as we did before. And the first thing I want to know is, when you were a kid, by the way, you guys, Bert was born in
1919.
1919.
John
1919. And I was asking her earlier, when did she perceive that this country had inequities racially and so on? And in those times, many of us have no idea what that was really like to live through it. We have a living example here who's going to talk to us about when she was a kid and she realized that there was inequity and how that affected her. Go ahead, Amber. You're a kid in the Grange, Georgia.
It affected every kid, every black kid that was born. It affected them. Now, what else you want to know?
I want to know how you felt about it. Up to the point when you decided.
Oh, I didn't like it. Because, see, when we would go to school, they didn't want us to read and write. When we was in school, what they would do, they would have us to read to recite the preamble. We the peoples of the United States of America. I didn't like that because in the winter we said we was all one. Mm-hmm. I didn't like it. Yeah, I had to say it because I was in school. Mm-hmm. But it affected me because I didn't like it. It upset me.
Yeah. How did you feel about how the older men particularly were treated in those days, being called boy? How did you feel about the older men in those days who were being treated with such disrespect, being called boy, and even by a boy?
We felt so sorry for them. The ladies, they would treat the ladies a little better than they did to me. Right. But we didn't like it. But what could we do?
Right. So you decided that you didn't want to be in the South. By the way, you guys are both families. She's a Cameron, I'm a Cameron. My father, well, first of all, let me say, Bert is the seventh child of 10 siblings, uh, 5 girls and 5 boys. Her brother, my father, was the oldest of the 10. So I asked you earlier about my father. He was killed years ago at Hell's Bar Dam. He was an unsung hero in the civil rights movement. As you all may know, there are many, many unsung heroes that it's not, they're not famous. They're not Mega Everest or anything like that. But her brother, my father was in, I'm not going to go into this extensively. I'll do it at another time. But my father was a proactive person in the union that he was in. He did what we call weathering, which today would be something like plastering. And they didn't like his proactiveness. Anyway, what was he like? He died when I was 4. I didn't know him.
He was a kind, gentle person until you made him angry.
Well, that's the same with you. Remember I told you I don't want to meet that other lady? And Bert said, well, you don't have to meet her. And my friend Pat, when I told her the story, Pat said, yeah, if you don't call her, she won't come. Anyway, go ahead. He was artistic too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Well, tell him what he did.
I don't know. That didn't do no good. We'll see what we re-recording on this. So like, the story about what you said, like how he would chop the tree down. You know what he would think about that tree. You can tell us about. He did. He went out in the woods and got a tree and built dressed them and made a piano.
Oh, that's right. Now I never heard that. I knew he made furniture, but this is new.
Yeah,
He actually made a piano.
he actually made a piano and he played it.
Really?
Now that goes out of what stuff. It wasn't no piano like this high.
What do you call him? Steinway? But look, he also made jewelry out of boards.
Out of silver.
Yeah.
Silver smooth. Oh,
Yeah.
well, it was silver smooth.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Now you guys, both house families, were from LaGrange, Georgia, and I just learned that George had heard the same story I heard from Bert. She was actually chased by a UFO. Tell us about that, Bert. When you were about 9 years old, you say?
I was about 9.
Now, LaGrange is supposed to be one of the places where there's a lot of UFO activity, even for, what was it, 1937?
Yeah, they said that.
Well, my aunts had an experience of that nature even before 1937. It's just not documented. We're documenting it now. Tell them about your experience.
Well, I went to my mother sent me to the store about 2 blocks from where I lived. And I was, after I left the store, I started back home with a great big bill I had to pay. And this thing come just as, I mean, that's straight, it's coming straight to me.
Oh.
And I didn't know what to do. And I just turned and went the other way.
But it was off the ground. It was flying.
Yeah.
And something you had never seen before.
Never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to the next street. I went out to wait to get back home.
Mm-hmm.
But you just wanted to get to. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. I never heard the story, but what actually happened, it didn't catch you, obviously. What happened? Did you go in the house or did it just disappear?
I don't know what happened because I went there. I went there already. They were trying to get back coming. So the street told me in this great big field.
Yeah.
and I had to pass that year.
Yeah.
And what I did when I noticed them coming straight to me, I just turned and went the other way and went the next street and
Right.
come on down to my house.
Now, you know, there are people who are skeptical of UFOs, but you guys, this is a lady who's 104. She don't lie. And this is a true story. I know myself, as George has also attested, that we are aware that LaGrange, the place of our lineage where our families are from, that there's a lot of activity there. But we're going to move on to another subject matter. Bert, what do you feel about humanity now?
About humanity.
We on this planet. How do you see us?
How do I see us on this planet now?
Yeah, humanity, the people on this planet. What is your take? Politically, or we can even start with America. What do you think about what's happening in America now, politically?
It's something that we never, in all my days, seen before. And nobody that's living or dead, I guess.
Well, a lot of, basically though, Granny, like with the amount of violence now that you cut the TV on, you turn it to your favorite show on CNN, and you're just seeing all over America, not even just here in Dayton, Ohio, like
They talk about
week is, then every couple of days it's shooting you, and then all around the U.S. is just shooting after shooting, mass shooting.
I ain't never seen nothing so bad
And
as it is now.
you once told me that the can was upside down.
The world is bottom side up.
Bottom side up. You are praying on it. So, from your perspective, because you have much more life experience and insight and references than we do, how did we get the can to turn upright? Do you have any suggestions for us?
For the world to turn back
Upright. The can, meaning the world. How do we get it to turn upright?
you can't. It's fine, and that's gone too far now.
It's gone too far. I feel the same way. I feel we dug ourselves in such a deep hole.
The only thing anybody can do now is the Lord. He would have to step in, intervene.
Yeah. Well, now we've talked about.
I know you know. I know.
No, I ain't talking about that.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, I agree with you, because I believe in order for humanity to survive ourselves, there are three possibilities: either divine intervention, like you was just saying, extraterrestrial intervention, or a major global catastrophe that puts everybody on the same level. In other words, the billionaire.
That's not going to happen.
Well, we don't know that. We don't know that. You see, if a comet or asteroid hit this planet right now,
We do know that because
I'm sorry.
just like I told you a while ago, unless the Lord intervenes. Now, it could happen then, but otherwise it ain't going to happen.
You won't argue with you. Well, let me tell you this. You had 2 marriages, right?
Yes.
Long-term marriages and good marriages. What do you have to say to the young ladies and young men out there in terms of how to make a relationship work?
To make your relationship work, the two of you have to agree. You have to agree to disagree sometime. And when you're going to do something, sit down and talk it out, talk it over. I might be wrong sometime, and he might be right. He might be right sometime, and I'm wrong. But we talk and come together and thrash it out. And that's the way we lived our life.
Now, the ingredients that makes all that possible, girl, is what? Love, right?
Love is
Sincere, respectful intent towards
That's right.
Yes, ma'am. Now, there's some other things I wanted to ask you. We talked about race. We've talked about our country. We've talked about the planet. Okay, there are those out there who want to know about from 1919 throughout the history of this country, your perception, your feelings about the things that you experienced. You were there and we weren't. But from your perspective, how did you feel about, first of all, leaving the South? And you were talking about, George, how much it took for she and her husband to save.
Yeah, the sacrifice, grandmother. You were saying that how much did granddaddy get paid a week back then?
So about $7 a week.
$7 a week, and you saved for like 4 years?
I don't know how many.
About 3, 4
Wait a
years.
minute. We got married in 1946. Go for that. 1946.
Okay.
That's when we got married.
And she left in 47.
And y'all left in 47? Or what?
So we had now much time to save that.
Uh-huh.
So I want to talk about how you.
I'm gonna tell you something. We wasn't able to save no money till we moved here, and you got a job here.
Okay.
That's when we began to save and put our money together. I was working too, and guess how much I was making a week?
How much?
First time they paid me $1 a week.
$1.
$1 a week. I wasn't as a teenager or at that time. Okay. They went up, paid me $1 a quarter. And eventually they paid me $1.50, and that was it
For a whole week.
That's right. I know a lot of people don't believe that, but that is the fact.
Well, the issue for me is how far does $1 go? What could you buy with $1 in those?
Well, that's another thing. Everything was so cheap as dirt.
Well, tell us about.
You could go to the store and get a yard of cloth for 10 cents.
Really?
Yes. So it was a difference in the prices and stuff. You could take $1 and get quite a bit of stuff with $1.
While it's grocery shopping. So if you just did some grocery shopping, just say what you was gonna have for the week, how much of that dollar would you think you would spend?
Well, what we would do, Joe, we would put all the money together.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe with him making $7 a week,
Mm-hmm.
I put mine with his, and that gave us a real smart, to get through. That's one thing. I never suffered for food and clothes because my mother made out of clothes.
Well, can you tell us about our family, like your father, Grandpa Fields, and your mother, Grandma Aiden, and your siblings? How was life for them?
Wait a minute, now I don't understand.
No, your dad, Grandpa Fields, your mother, Grandma Ada, and your brothers and sisters. What was life like in those days for them? Like, what did Grandpa Fields do? How did he make money? He was a preacher, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Did he have a church?
No.
No.
He was assistant.
So did the rest of you guys work and help the family? We're trying to find out about the actual unit.
Well, that's the reason we don't have no education. The older children had to go to work to help make it. And the older children would also have to help take care of us.
Mm-hmm.
So what else you want to know?
I want to know, as a female in those days, what was it like being a female, black female in the South?
It was pretty heavy, pretty hard.
And you said a moment ago that the women were treated better than the black men.
They were.
And you also said that your heart went out to the black men. I find that very interesting. Can you elaborate on that a little? How did it feel if you saw your father or brother called boy?
It hurt. It really hurt to see their, being called boy, the girls, and the grown people.
Right.
It hurt.
And Grandma Ada, what was she like? She worked hard in the house. I mean, 10 kids.
Well, you know what? She would have to go out and work. That's what they did back then. My mother had to go out and work too.
Hmm.
My dad would work in the field, and she would work, do some domestic work.
Mm-hmm.
And then while she was doing that, and another thing, my older children, our sisters and brothers, they had what they call a mill.
Mm-hmm.
And they were working the mill.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason we didn't get no education, because everybody had to try to pitch in to got so many children
Yeah.
to make ends meet.
So you guys didn't have television. You have radio.
That's all we had, radio.
So how did you enjoy it?
Hmm?
What was enjoyment like? Fun? Did you have fun?
Well, I'm going to tell you what happened one time.
Yeah.
We was getting ready to go to church, and this really wound me up. We was, because my mother and father never did send us to church. They took us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We were getting ready to go to church, and we turned had that radio on.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a white church having service. And we heard the preacher say, put a darkie in the kitchen and everybody come on to church. That wound me up.
Oh, put a darkie in the kitchen and everybody.
And told them everybody else to come on to church. Put a darkie in the kitchen. Yeah. And I worked with some people. They would go to Atlanta and meet me with their children.
Mm. For days?
Not for days, maybe 1 or 2 days, maybe.
So you were the parent to their kids for 1
Yeah.
And how old was your bro?
I was in my teens. I don't know exactly how old.
What was that feeling?
Hmm?
What was that feeling like? Being responsible?
But I'm thinking days.
Come on.
And what happened is, and when they would come off of these trips, they would take me home. And I heard the husband said, well, when they went in the house, or come in the house, he said, well, I'm going to take the darkie home.
Mm.
That ain't what they didn't say dark at that time, but they called. I can't think of what it was now, but he called us another name.
Uh-huh.
And what I did something dangerous. I asked the little boy, I said, what do the word? I can't think of the name of the word they used, but it was slang, a nigger.
Right.
And he said, I'm going to tell you. He said, but don't you tell them that I told you. And he said, that mean nigger.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Clyburn, what were the politics in those days that you can remember? Politics. You know, what was it like from your perspective, and from the family's perspective?
I didn't know nothing about politics growing up. Didn't know that until TV come on there.
Really?
I run it in.
Yeah. So what kind of work did you do other than keeping these kids and so on?
I worked in a place where I had cleaned all
To work?
fish and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
Not this wasn't fish. What the name of some of it?
It's okay.
Other than fish, call the name of some of it. Fowl.
Wow. Yeah. Chickens. And stuff.
That's not what I'm trying to say. I can't think.
You're saying you would fillet the fish, brother? And
You would clean whatever it was.
Yeah, shrimps, like that. That's what I'm trying to say. I worked it up, and then I worked at a coffee shop.
Mm-hmm. And how much will you make?
How much was I making?
About
It's about the same thing. They didn't pay no
$1.
dollar and a half, something like that.
Yeah.
Mhm. And I didn't get a chance to do no work other than domestic work until I came to Dayton.
Right.
And I did some after I came to Dayton.
Yeah.
Now tell me this one thing. One thing, did you ever think you would live long enough to see a black president of color?
No, I didn't. I never thought I would, but when I did,
And so that was that a big shocker for you? Was that what that go?
yeah. Well, we were so glad. We all of us cried.
Well,
Yeah, we were glad, but they did him bad. And if you notice, ever since he was president, we've been going backwards. They've been trying to take us back.
So what do you think about what's going on right now? With the, because I know you are very much aware and involved in what's going on. What is your basic feelings about where we are as a country? What is your hope for us? Or do you have any hope for us as a people?
I told you that while ago.
Yeah, but they were listening.
I don't have no hope.
I was
That things gonna get any better.
Yeah, I was saying, you guys, that Roberta and I talk frequently, and she's very much aware of current events and stuff, and importance, those things that are relevant. She's very much in tune with our well-being as people, as a human race. But she's more pointed than that. She said once, I don't know how many months ago, that the can was upside down. And what she meant by that, in my opinion, is, in my words, I relate to that, is that we have dug ourselves in such a hole until there's really no way out. It sounds pessimistic and doomsday, but it's the truth. So I asked her, how does she think we can reverse that and put the can upright again? And what did you tell me?
Only God
Only God.
have an intervention that would change. Otherwise, me ain't gonna never get no better for them. That's what I feel. Also,
So, in terms of
because things really worse now than it was then. It really is.
and how does that make you feel? After going through all you've been through your childhood in a country where there was no equality. You've seen black men disrespecting Cold War and belittled. You went through the era of women being not just black women, but women, period. As a female, what did you go through?
It made all of us feel bad. We couldn't feel good.
And then were there things you wanted to do that you couldn't do, not just as a Black person, but as a woman, period? What was that?
It was hard working, Jimmy, to even think about it. It really was. It was bad.
My mother told me, she finally finished high school. President Dolly got a plaque from the president because that was one of the things that she always wanted to do is learn and go to school. She did, I think she was in the 60s. Okay. But the thing she told me is like her grandfather who raised her wouldn't allow her to go to school. She had to walk to school barefoot when she was in school, but they took her out of school because she was a woman. They said that a woman, there's no future for a woman being educated. That broke her home. And she was so determined and so passionate about getting education until she finally did. She finally did. But she had to go to work. Like you said, all you kids in those days had to pitch in. But for women, you didn't have a choice for the most part. Exactly. You did what you were told, but you weren't allowed to be educated. The white people didn't allow you to be educated, but also your parents a lot of times didn't allow you because they felt you had no future. Am I right?
And another thing, what they would do, the schools that we went to, what they would do, they would take the old ragged book and bring them to the Black people's supposed to be school. And they never did. You graduated when you get to 11th grade, and never did go. I was talking about Black folks. Never did go to the 12th. You graduate when you get to 11th.
So are you saying you never got a diploma?
Good.
You never got a diploma? And I'm trying to understand what this really means in the scheme of things.
Not what I'm saying is you get your diploma when you graduate in the 11th.
In the 11th grade.
Yeah.
What was the difference between graduating in the 11th grade opposed to the 12th? Are you saying white kids went to the 12th grade, which means they learned more?
No, I don't mean that. I mean the white people were able to graduate from the 12th grade. Black people didn't go no further than 11th.
That's it. And that it was over with.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to understand what that was about. Was it about education, or you were not really getting a diploma in 12th and 11th grade? Because there's something in there.
Yeah, you get your diploma if you graduate from 11th grade. Yeah.
I might have to do some investigation on what that means, because that doesn't make sense to me. I'm not saying it's not true. All I know is there's something in the game there. So what else happened, Bert, in terms of your education? How far did you go?
I went to the 8th grade.
8th grade.
That's as far as I went.
Right. Now, we have some.
And I was in it. It was a blessing that I got this far, but they didn't want us to learn that. They didn't want us to all go. They didn't want us to ride buses. They didn't want us to do nothing.
So when you saying that you weren't here ride buses, you saying
they pick up they had what they call cabs. We couldn't ride a cab.
They didn't even want you to even ride and sit in the back of it.
No,
they didn't want you. They didn't want you on the bus. Period. This is when you were a kid.
We walked everywhere we went.
Oh.
We walked we walked downtown to do some shopping. We have to walk. That's reading people's in the shape they are today. A lot of people, they ride everywhere that they go. We walk everywhere we went, and that's another thing that made people live long.
So when the civil rights, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No.
When the civil rights movement started, how does that affect you? What did you think?
I didn't know. I don't know. know whether it affected me that much because, see, everybody was in the same boat. And we knew what was going on, but we couldn't do nothing about it. And we just would do what we had to do.
You really had no choice.
Exactly.
There's in between here made a ridiculous statement. And he said that slavery seems to have been a choice. I was very much offended by that.
I still don't know what you're saying.
That slavery was a choice. In other words, black people chose to be slaves.
No, that's a lie.
I know it is. I know it. Big time, because we did what we did. You did what you did. Black people cured to survive. We had the choice. Unlike the Indians, where they had land to protect, we didn't have anything to protect.
No,
but ourselves. So, and we did what we had to do to survive. What do you think about the young black people of today, and about young black men calling one another nigger? They don't know what that word means, do they? What? Just about black men, young black men in particular, calling one another nigger today.
I hate it.
I hate it too.
Yeah, and I hate it now.
They don't. Boy, I almost said something.
Well, nowadays, though, when they say it, though, Grandma, and they can even say it to a white person, but if they say it to a white person, 9 times out of 10, that's a white person that grew up around blacks, and kind of know the culture, and then they'll say, "Oh, they go my nigga right there. Here he go," and they might be about to shoot some basketball, play some basketball.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a greeting, but it's a difference when you say, "Hey, that's my nigga."
But
then when you put the ER on it, that's when they look at it as just racist.
Sure.
I'm saying today, so she don't know what's going on. They don't know about it. Yeah, they don't
educate.
Yeah.
See, in my opinion, like I Bert, no, you can't really define that word.
No.
You can't make it nice. You can't make it slang where it doesn't matter. And that's an insult to her. I'm 74. It's an insult to me. See, I remember being called that, and it wasn't about a nice greeting. These young folks, I don't know what that word means. They don't know what that word means. They don't know the blood, sweat, and tears that were shedding behind that word. You can't redefine it. I'm sorry to get so passionate. But they don't know.
But no, I was just letting her see.
No, I get you. She got it.
But she don't understand.
You got to do it.
The street, where it come from on the streets, and where it's at now.
Yeah.
Where it's been involved.
Because they don't want to care about it. They don't care when they use that word and call one another. They don't know they're really demeaning one another.
Well, that's just that. They're the new Ku Klux Klan members. See, these blacks is doing what the Ku Klux Klan is not doing. They killing each other at a high rate.
Okay, I can
see what I'm saying?
I know what
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, it's true. You see, we can't progress because we have to learn to, first of all, honor one another. I had some Hispanics. I live in Koreatown, and this was a couple of years ago, because I get respect where I live, And they said, "What's up, fool?" I didn't take offense because I know that they mean that not as a put down. But I stopped them.
Where's they call you?
Fool. Well, in the Hispanic community, fool is like a slang. It's like, "What's up, man?"
Yeah.
But what I pointed out to them, okay, this is your comrade, right? When I say, "What's up, genius?" Why you gotta be a fool? In other words, build one another up rather than tear down. You see, it's all about how you put
it's power. That's what it
Thank you, Bert. It is power. Empower one another. Don't call him a fool, call him a genius.
Well, I see what you're saying.
So, I have a lot of very strong feelings.
I wish I could explain myself. You know what? If I had y'all had got me when I was younger, I could explain myself better. I can explain it now.
You're doing just fine.
Now you see,
We are
make
loving.
me, you saying that to make me feel. No, we telling the truth, bro. Lord. So it's been crazy, Lord. It's people your age going. They're hospice right now.
Yeah.
This is you get up every morning. You cook a breakfast and moving around. It's other people that's not even your age. That's younger than you, grandma. That's needing help. You know every time.
Right now, there are people who are honoring you. They don't even know you.
So what?
They're honoring you. The few words that you speak, you think they don't mean anything. But to those who care and those who are involved in life, you are a blessing. Do you know how many people don't live to see or have relations with someone who's lived 104 years? Especially in our community. So just sitting here talking with you, just these people who are just listening to us right now, there's benefit. Yeah, you are to be honored, respected, and loved. Thank you. And we appreciate what you think you're not saying right. We appreciate all of the right, all of the wrong, whatever comes out of you is meaningful to us.
And if I ain't mistaken, Jimmy, as of last year, June 19th is what? That's holiday, right? So now her birthday is a national holiday. Yeah. So see, that's it. That does to her, man. But bro, cause see, now it's like over time she see that she's the man recognized. She got a little reward. And years ago, we didn't know that about you. And I didn't. I really didn't. I didn't know the history of no Juneteenth till they made it a national holiday on your birthday. So that's big.
Remember, you guys didn't have a lot of time, right? So, what do you feel about what's going on?
That what?
I said in those days you didn't have cell phones and all this kind of stuff. What do you feel about what's going on? Everybody's got a cell phone, or a tablet, or a computer, or something.
What? Because some of the people that's dead and going on, if they was to rise up and see what's going on today and what they really and what's happening today, they're all dead again.
But see, I remember, and I'm I'm right behind you somewhere. I ain't gonna ever catch up with you. But see, I remember when life was beautiful without all that, So this is why I was asking you earlier, how did you guys have fun there? You see, we younger people, and even I remember when I went to mother, we call it Marlon, into the Grange. When I was a kid, I used to take trips down there in the summer sometime. And Mama always had a rocking. You always have a rock. I got a rock to myself. To me, it's cultural in my bedroom.
What I enjoyed it was. Go ahead and finish. I'm gonna tell you that.
You go ahead.
Yeah, it's your show, bro.
Well, the only thing that the way we had to enjoy ourselves after we come to church, that we had to go to church.
Church.
When we get out, we would get together with some of the people, church people, some kids would get together, go downtown, get us some ice cream cone and have pictures made. They would make pictures down there, and we would have them make our picture. And that was all enjoyment that I can remember. Now, the older siblings, they had what you call apple. What is apple? It was a game they played. Apple. I forget what the last that was called. But they would put an apple in a bowl.
Well, you talking about let me buy that for the apples, grandma, with the big old bucket,
And you try
and leave it up apples and we try to pick it up.
No, you try to fight it.
Yeah.
And what they call that?
I don't know.
Apple.
Bobby. Yeah, when you buy
Apple fight.
But I remember it. But what I was saying, well, that is like There was talking about electronics and so on. And that word, that God-forsaken word. See, we remember when they had colored water fountain and white water. And you didn't dare. This is what I wanted to let us remember now. What happened if you were to go to the white water and drink? What was they do in those days?
If I what?
Okay, you got the white water fountain over here. The color over there, they always say color, right? If you were to drink out the white, what would happen in those days?
Somebody would grab me and tell me I can't do that. That's what they would do. But I had just nothing to even try.
We did. I was really.
Yeah, you remember that?
Yeah, that was during my time.
Let me ask you something. When they were sitting, when the black kids started going to these collars and sitting sitting
Sit down.
just to get waiting on
Demonstrations, yes.
what's your name? Your sister.
Sandra.
Sandra was one of them?
She was one of them.
Yeah.
She met Martin King too in Chattanooga. She met Martin Luther King in Chattanooga.
Oh, she did.
She went to jail.
Yeah, she said that all the reasons she didn't go to jail. Jesse Jackson told them that she was a teenage something. She got out of it. She never.
Well, she didn't go to jail?
She said she didn't.
Okay. Excuse me, you guys. I ain't trying to peddle no vicious beliefs.
Jesse Jackson told them something. She said and got them off.
Yeah.
Maybe she was a minor at that time. I don't know.
Is that terrible?
But anyway, she told me about that. I know I had heard that. I thought it was more than her in the family that did that. But she said, I am the one.
Yeah, she was the one who was proactive in the early 60s in terms of civil rights.
Yeah.
Because Martin Luther King would come to Chattanooga. And they would march and do sit-ins. Sandra, I was young at that time.
But you remember so.
Oh, I remember. But you see, Helen was in college. Jay was either in college or service. George was playing football or basketball. He was about marching nowhere. So she was one. Darlene was scholastic, I don't think she was ever really politically inclined, but she was aware. She's the smart.
And Jimmy, I'll tell you what was mind blowing. Just happened to ask Grandma one day. I said, Grandma, you been watching this CNN? I'll get to her MSNBC. That's her favorite show. And I said, she be watching it for hours. And I don't go to work. I come back and I said, I sit on and been talking a lot about, this Trump and election and all this. I said, what from, the time you've been living up until now, I said in history, they say they have this, way of repeating itself. I said, where do you see the world going right now? She said, George, the only thing I see is headed like towards the direction of another civil war. Within that week, we had that insurrection. Remember that? What was talking about that?
We're gonna have some more. We're gonna have some more.
And that's big, to say that we headed towards another civil war, and then within that same week, that insurrection. I said, so she on top of it.
Yeah, she is very much a formal pop, because as Sheree and Tina was saying, she has lived through each segment of the progression. And go ahead.
One thing about it, I got a lot of education just about watching TV.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things that I didn't understand. And that I got a lot of it all for TV. And I know the way you saw art. I'm talking about George's art and how they were the first Black people that I know of bought a TV.
You talking about Item and Upway?
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah, you remember that one?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's another thing when I didn't tell y'all about. When we first came to date, we couldn't find a room because so many people had come up and quit looking for Joe. We couldn't find a room. You know what they did? She and her mother stayed in one, well, they had just one room and put a curtain across it for me and Joe. That's just how bad it was.
Let's tell me this, back then, how much did y'all pay for the house on the west side of Dayton? Because the guy moved past the house one day and he said that he remembered when his parents sold the house, I want to say in the 40s, when y'all bought that.
No,
What was it?
you mean
The house on Second Street.
you mean it was in the order? You talking about years?
Yeah, yeah, when y'all bought that house.
I don't remember.
Because there's so many words. They was like one of the first blacks to buy a house on the west side back in the moving from the south.
You know how we did that? We didn't have no car or nothing. We would ride the bus. And we would put our money together. And like I told you, well, we would eat cornbread, black-eyed peas, and stuff like that. And when we come through town, we wouldn't get off the bus. We'd go straight home until we could save up enough money to buy a home. You could get a home then. Wasn't no fine place, so about 25,000.
No,
No, you saying $25,000 for the whole house.
Yeah.
yeah. Let me ask you this thing. Being a woman, what do you think about this abortion?
What I think about
Abortion. Do you think
abortion?
What do you think about abortion and what is happening in our country now regarding abortion? Do you feel that it infringes on
Trump put his finger in the eyes of Christian, supposed to be Christian people. He got them fooled. Trump got them fooled. Trump got them thinking that his father is against abortion. He really can. Watching these programs, I found that out. But so far as I'm concerned, I'm not for abortion.
Okay, but this another thing too. Is some women might have been raped, some might even be underage and shouldn't even be having no kids. Some of them might be having complications with the pregnancy, and it would be better off that they had the abortion
Yeah.
and to go months and months and months to giving birth to a dead baby. So it has its advantages, but
so with a lot of disadvantages.
yeah,
But like this 10-year-old girl had to leave Ohio to go to her mother had to take her to another state to get this abortion. I agree with you there. I think that they should not make a 10-year-old girl have a baby. Yes, I do.
that's so.
But I'm gonna tell you something about this abortion. A lot of people use abortion.
What do you mean by use?
What I'm trying to say, they use it.
It's okay.
I can't get it together, but I know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but she didn't talk when we talked about it before. She
Yeah,
told me.
I know you do. So, you've done wonderful. Now I want you to close us out with something.
You don't close me out for both. So you go. Let's cause we had ever done here, him. We were trying to go to no,
But they can only do so much in a podcast, you know, so much.
we went that all of this not going on that. No, they gonna edit it too, grandma. They gonna they gonna
We ain't trying to shut you up.
oh no. No, what he said correctly. What he said, just more like, is there a piece of advice like if you was about to leave right now and you were coming back, would it be a piece of advice you could give me and that we could share? You could share it right now. You could share it with the world right now. If you was to leave right now today, you know that today is it. What's that one thing you could tell us? Piece of advice. And we can carry with about what? About just righteous living. Life period in general.
Remember you told us earlier, you said you got but now, because you may not be able to see me again a lot. I came across the country. So tell me something. What he's saying is,
it's like my dad told me, he said, George, you don't never want to have a record, you know, like a police record. And he told me, I goofed that up though. He said, you don't want to bring anything in this world that you can't take care of. You know, so like he grew up in a 2-parent home. So I wasn't bringing no child in the world unless I was married. You know, and she would have to have structure. You know, she would have to be a woman of Christ. You know, so that's a big responsibility. So I could say that's the best piece of advice he ever gave me. So what's a piece of advice you can give us, we can share?
after 100 years.
And yeah, at the age that you are now. Because you've seen it out. And you've seen it again. Just in a different form.
Don't think too hard. Just talk.
Yes. Just let it come natural. It's let it flow. Y'all I don't get to say it so much. I don't forget the first thing. Now what? No, I'm saying, listen, bro. If you knew at 12 o'clock tonight it's done and God about to take you in your sleep, what would be a piece of advice you could tell me right now? That take care of yourself because they have to. All right, now. That's it. That's it. Take care of yourself.
I never heard that. She said, he asked her, what would you tell us? Me and her grandson, and I'm her nephew, and the world. If she were to leave here tonight, what would she want to say to us? She said, take care of yourself
And each other.
and each other. Why? Because they
after us.
Thank you, guys. It's been wonderful. And thank you, love.
You're welcome.
And thank you.
Anytime.
Are you ready to skyrocket your podcasting journey? Look no further than The Power of Podcasting by Dr. Tina J. Ramsey. This book is not just any ordinary guide. It's a game changer that offers insider strategies, captivating content creation tips, proven techniques, and monetization secrets. But that's not all. When you purchase The Power of Podcasting, you also receive a complimentary bonus, Dr. Ramsey's sought-after podcast 30-video course valued at $999, absolutely free. It's no wonder this book is a #1 bestseller on Amazon and has been rated one of the top 10 best new podcasting books to read by Book Authority. Dr. Ramsey's expertise and practical advice have earned her acclaim in the industry. So, what are you waiting for? Take the leap and unlock your podcasting success today. Grab your copy of The Power of Podcasting, Unlocking Tips and Strategies for Podcast Success by Dr. Tina J. Ramsey on Amazon, or visit their website at ctrmedianetwork.com. A link will be provided in this episode's description. Your podcasting journey starts here.
want to be and where it is that you want to go. It's about finding out what makes us tick, what makes us happy, what makes us sing. There's an exercise that we do that talks about what is it that makes your heart sing. And we go through all of the things. When I say we, I mean when I work with my clients, we go through all the things that bring us joy. Because you know what? It's some of those things that definitely tie in, if not all of them, that really tie into our purpose and really tie into what we need to do and what we need to pursue to break free from the chains that are holding us. So, what we need to do to break free, we need to get our minds, we need to get our bodies, and we need to get our souls right. I've been doing conferences on reinvention and journey sharing, and there's been a recurring theme across all of them. And all of them have dealt with these three things that really need to get straight, that need to be healthy, and to get into alignment. So that is what we focus on. Those are the things you need to do. Get rid of the limiting beliefs. Ensure that you are working so that your body is operating in optimal shape, right? So that you can be supported, so that this body can support those things that you desire to do as you move through life. And also making sure that your soul is right, that you're tuning into your heart and your purpose, and your heart's in the right place, and you're not harboring things like unforgiveness, and you're not focusing on past failures, and making sure that in all you do that you're extending yourself grace. So Exodus, it's time to break free. Focus on those things just a bit. But I want you to really come back and join me in a couple of weeks when we do the Exodus series. I have Melissa Brown, who is known as the Soul Love Coach, who is my life coach and who has just helped me to navigate some really dangerous and tricky waters, to be able to understand what soul ties mean, what wounds mean, what it is that you need to do to ensure that your soul is in the right place. You do not want to miss her as one of my podcast guests for Exodus. Another guest, Dr. Tabitha Russell, who is the millionaire mindset mogul. She's going to get our minds right. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Melissa also talks deeply about making sure that our mindset is straight. But Dr. Tabitha is going to deal with us on how we think about our finances, because it's time for us to break free of what we think we can't do because of what we see as limiting finances, or where things may not be where we want them right now. There is a whole methodology and a whole science behind getting your mind mentally straight and getting that financial mindset that you need to be that millionaire mogul that you really can be. She's going to be with us and talk to us about our mindset around money, plus some other things. And then I have Dr. Michelle Johnson, who talks about how food is our real medicine. She puts biblical principles behind it. She is a doctor, a bariatric doctor, who has studied this intensely and who brings such knowledge and expertise to this field. And you would be amazed at how we can heal our bodies by what it is that we put in them, and how it is that we look at our diet, how it is we look at our bodies, and what it is we feed to our bodies. So again, Exodus, y'all, it's time to break free. And I'm helping. The month of December, in 2 weeks, you want to be here for the podcast. It's going to be broadcasting live via Thought for Thursday, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and I'll finish things off on Thursday. So we have a 4-night series that I'm so excited about, and you don't want to miss it. It will be 8 o'clock each night. And watch out for my social media. And if you're on my mailing list, and if not, you want to get on my mailing list. So make sure that you DM me so I can get you on there so that you will have the inside scoop on and get it first to find out exactly how these lineups are coming. All right. So it took a little longer, but I really focused in on a topic that has been near and dear to me and something that's been resonating for a few weeks now. It is time for us to break free. Exodus. It's time to break the chains. Let's focus on doing that as we break into what it is that we want to do, where it is that we want to be when we start 2024. All right? That's it, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. It looks like my internet connection even held up tonight. Thank God. I've been having real trouble with that. But listen, I want you all to go out and be boldly yourselves because you are needed just the way you are. Your touch is needed to make a difference somewhere. Make a difference in your life. Make a difference in the lives of others. I want you to know that you are worthy of being happy, that you are worthy of good things happening to you. Somewhere along the line, life has really started to press on us, and many of us feel as though we're not even worthy of better. You're worthy of better because God says so. He made you fearfully and wonderfully to do awesome things. But that thumbprint that he gave you that's unique, that no one else has, that only you have, go out and touch something with it. Join me back here next week. And of course, definitely join me for Exodus in 3 weeks. I'm sorry, in 2 weeks, the week of December 9th. That's it. You guys have a great weekend. Get your R's in. Rest, restore, reinvigorate, relax, all those things. Make sure you make time for that. All right? Have a great one.
All right, so at this time, we are welcoming author, podcast, businesswoman, coach, podcast influencer, Coach Tina Ramsey.
What up, family? CTR Media Network. Yeah. Best in the biz. Yeah. Join the team. CTR is who we are, the media network, that's the best by far. Whether you listen at your home, at your job, in your car, come get the information that's needed above par. Never lasting, motivational podcasting, giving you the answers to the questions that you're asking. Serious talks and topics, how to come up and profit, how to better yourself, your health, and see we got it. Reaching 350 million, they tuning in. We in 50 different countries, we all can. And like-minded, find your purpose and your assignment. Come get your fix, your feel, your mental alignment. Get active and speak to the masses. Build your influence all levels and all classes. Now you know you can monetize and grow. CTR Media Network, start the show. CTR Media Network. CTR Media Network. CTR Media Network. CTR Media Network. CTR is who we are. The Media Network, that's the best by far, you know. CTR Media Network.
2024 Ignite Change Empowerment Virtual Conference. Join us for 3 days on February 23rd-25th, 2024 from 6 p.m. 9 p.m. EST by CTR Media Network. Are you ready to unlock your potential and make a meaningful impact? This is an opportunity to connect with a diverse audience and contribute to breaking down barriers that hinder progress. Support the cause, sponsorship and collaboration opportunities. While the speaker opportunity is free, we are offering limited opportunities for sponsorship, vendor slots, advertisement spots, and welcome donations to support the production of this transformative event. If you represent a media company, business, podcaster, or any organization interested in collaboration, please reach out to info@ctrmedianetwork.com or visit our website at www.ctrmedianetwork.com.
You won't embrace it and look for it and desire it day in and day out because you don't believe that it's within your arm or your hand's reach. And so that's why it's so important for us to say, you know what? My happiness, it matters. And so when we are making decisions and we're doing things, I understand in life we have to make sacrifices. We have to do some things that we're like, okay, do I really want to do that? Do I not want to do that? Different things of that nature, but it's so important. I'm telling you, it is so important for us to stop and say, you know what, in the midst of everything, that I know that my happiness is important, my happiness matters, and no one can take that away from me. So with that being said, it depends on your view in life. Do you know that you are in control of your happiness? Because if you are looking for other people or things to make you happy, you will never be happy. Because that other person is human. They cannot live up to your standard of happiness. Things are temporary. So it's just like a new toy. Your children are so excited to have it, right? And then boom. Or that new purse, once you get it, okay. So it's important to understand that you have to do what makes you happy. You have to channel yourself, figure out what that is. You know, if it's getting connected closer and closer to God so you can truly be happy, then that's what it is, right? Number 5, your feelings are valid. So understanding that your feelings are valid, tremendously important. Because there's times we'll have arguments or conversations with people and they will dismiss our feelings. We sit there and we listen to them, but they will dismiss our feelings. But at the end of the day, we have to understand that it's not personal. It's not. I literally just sat in a training with Rocky Garza, guys. If y'all don't know what that is, go follow him. This man is phenomenal. And he helps you to channel. When we get mad when people say things to us, we have to check ourselves. It's nothing personal. that is a missed opportunity for them. So don't you go and get yourself upset. Like, whatever it is, we have to understand that your feelings are valid. You feel this way for a reason. So you have to acknowledge your feelings. And if other people don't want to see it, there's nothing we can do about that. But state the facts, stay on topic, let people know how you feel. And when you tell people how you feel, it's their choice to A, say, you know what, I was wrong. I know that I hurt you. Or B, they're going to continue to do things the way they do. And if they do, then that means you need to make a decision. Period. Number 6, what happened to you was not your fault. This is so important because we need to understand that, you know what is in your control is in your control, but what's out of your control is out of your control. And I just want you to take a deep breath on that one. Because so many times we hold that inside of us with that inner child, holding on to the things that were out of our control. We don't get to pick our families when we come here and live on earth, when God has blessed us to come here on earth, because he already knows where we formed in our mother's womb. And we don't get to choose, our family ties or anything like that. So it's just important to understand, the lifestyle that we, had growing up from 0 to 18, that's not our fault. But I do have control once I become an adult on what is my control. And so I have to do what is within my control to change that lifestyle if I don't like it. And number 7, what do you need right now? And that's important because a lot of times if you grow up, not having a say so in your household, you'll grow up and realize that I don't know what I want. I don't know what I need, because my feelings and my needs was never validated, or I was never to even express that. And so it's important when you become an adult to talk to yourself. Ask yourself, what is it that I need? What do I need right now? Number 8, you will get through this. We got to talk to ourselves. Okay? Just like the song that says, encourage yourself. Sometimes you have to encourage yourself. Talk to yourself. Push yourself through. And those are the inner battles that no one ever knows that you are fighting. Number 9, other people's moods are not your fault. Understanding that other people's moods are not your fault is so important, because when we walk into a room, the tone is set. You can feel the energy, whether it's negative, whether it's positive. But you have to understand that that has nothing to do with you. Unless, of course, you're the one causing the havoc. Number 10, your voice is important. And so it's important to understand that my voice matters. Just like everyone else can have an opinion, God created everyone to be different. Your voice matters. And number 11, I'm here for you. Because we have to start making sure that we show up for ourselves. Because in life, what happens is many times people don't show up for them. They show up for everybody, but they don't show up for themselves. So my challenge to you is to ask yourself these 11 questions. Speak to yourself. Show up for yourself. And allow yourself to know that no matter what happens in your life, that you can overcome anything you put your mind to. Thank you guys for tuning in to this episode today, listening to your inner child. I feel like this is so important because in life, so many things happen and we don't take the time to stop and think. We pass the blame, we point to everyone, but we have to stop and think and look at ourselves, look in the mirror and say, what is it that I need? And it's okay to start over. It's okay. But make sure you follow me on Ingeniously Made Whole on Instagram, Facebook, and also make sure you follow me on TikTok at IMW Counselor Petty. I love you guys. And again, thank you guys so much for tuning in to my episode.
Are you ready to skyrocket your podcasting journey? Look no further than The Power of Podcasting by Dr. Tina J. Ramsey. This book is not just any ordinary guide. It's a game changer that offers insider strategies, captivating content creation tips, proven techniques, and monetization secrets. But that's not all. When you purchase The Power of Podcasting, you also receive a complimentary bonus, Dr. Ramsey's sought-after podcast 30-video course valued at $999, absolutely free. It's no wonder this book is a #1 bestseller on Amazon and has been rated one of the top 10 best new podcasting books to read by Book Authority. Dr. Ramsey's expertise and practical advice have earned her acclaim in the industry. So, what are you waiting for? Take the leap and unlock your podcasting success today. Grab your copy of The Power of Podcasting, Unlocking Tips and Strategies for Podcast Success by Dr. Tina J. Ramsey on Amazon, or visit their website at ctrmedianetwork.com. A link will be provided in this episode's description. Your podcasting journey starts here.
Discover an incredible opportunity with CTR Media Network to enhance your company's visibility in the community through our dynamic platform. Would you be interested in being featured in one or more of our engaging podcasting shows? Well, we're currently scheduling interviews and booking right now. Just visit ctrmedianetwork.com and click the Contact Us tab to secure your spot today. Additionally, while you're there, consider placing an ad in one or more of our highly acclaimed #1 best-selling magazines. It's a perfect time for you to maximize your visibility and reach through the pages of our magazines. Just click the Store tab on our website to be featured today. We also offer prime commercial placement opportunities. Imagine your message reaching 350 million households worldwide during any of our CTR Media Network shows. We would love to partner with you. Consider becoming a sponsor of CTR Media Network today to take advantage of all the opportunities that we have available. It is our joy to spotlight individuals and companies who are making a positive impact in the world.
Listen, if anybody's interested in getting into podcasting, grab this book. Go on Amazon, grab this book. It goes with me almost everywhere. This book has like a workbook. It has places you can fill it in. It tells you how to monetize your podcast. It tells you how to set it up. It tells you about sponsorships. It even, listen, go on Amazon and get this book. And this is the Bible for podcasters. Listen, it was ranked #1 in podcasting books. Look right here. Best new podcasting book by Book Authority. Right there. Boom. And a little secret. Y'all, when you grab this book, I think it's page 43. There is a code on there. Listen, you can get access to her class, her course. Get her course. It's worth hundreds of dollars. But this book is it's less than $50. Grab this book on Amazon. I'm telling you, I carry it everywhere. She is the best. Grab this book.
Do your work. Do the work. Don't compare yourself to others. Because a lot of times we feel like we need to impress others. It's not about what bag is on your hand, on your shoulder. It's not about the designer shoes that you have on. And it was funny because this weekend I got a chance to go and work with some other authors and collaborators with this club that I'm in. And if you definitely if you would love to have the affiliate link, let me know. But especially if you've been thinking about being an author, please don't hesitate. Reach out to me and I can definitely connect you to the right resources. But it was really nice to be in a circle of people who are like-minded. But we talked a lot about, taking our businesses to the next level and just really elevating ourselves for success. And it was nice to see how everyone is in different sectors, but we can all help each other to be successful and get to the next level. And in life, if you want to be successful, sometimes we have to remove ourselves from that toxic environment, remove ourselves from that circle of people so that way we can focus and do what we need to do. And when I say focus, I'm talking about you really like getting in the zone, going, hardcore, waking up, 4 a.m., 5 a.m., doing something different than what you're currently doing so you can get different results. And one thing I loved about this group, we got a chance to, go to a beautiful island, St. Thomas. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I said I want to go back when I'm not working and really just enjoy the fruits of the island. But one thing about it is no one was comparing themselves to anyone else. And everyone was committed to the drive of helping each other. And, we were able to have fun. We were able to record content for each other and just really get in and just do it big. And so when we think about that, I just want you to remember yourself and your values and just holding true to yourself and always do what you know you need to do. There's been times in my life where I was asked to do so many different business opportunities that were amazing and it sounded amazing. Because I'm like, hey, if you can show me if I do this, this, and this, I'm gonna get this, this, and that. I'm like, I'm in. But what I've had to learn is just because it sounds good and it looks good, that doesn't mean that it's right for you. So in life, we have to make sure that we are taking the time to do what's right for us. So when we think about that, that leads us to our affirmation number 4. I am committed to owning my success. When you think about owning your success, it's kind of like what we're always talking about. What is it I need to do differently to get where I desire to be? I understand you got to work, you have a family to take care of, so you need money right now. But sometimes we have to take that leap of